Hello, hello. For those of you who have been here before, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, I'm so glad that you chose to join today. Today might be tomorrow or 5 years from now for you, but I'm so glad that you're here. And for those of you who have been here before, I have talked about gratitude several times. My mom growing up was always like, remember to be grateful whenever I was walking through different things. And at that time it was like just such a like prickly thing for me, and I was like, oh mom, like you don't know, like gratitude isn't gonna help it. But as I've gotten older, I've really realized and truly started to like comprehend that gratitude is such a beneficial disposition that we can have. And if we have that tendency to gratitude and to be grateful, it just allows us to have more of a hopeful perspective towards life in general. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about something that I was thinking about while I was at the gym today. I have also talked about this before, but we have a Y membership, and for any of you moms out there, a Y membership is so amazing. First of all, they do it on like a sliding scale based on income, but also they have 2 hours of childcare a day up to 9 hours a week. And that has kind of been my respite in the midst of, I have 2 little boys, they're 13 months apart, and so I love to go to the Y. Sometimes I just sit there and do nothing, and sometimes I do a lot of things, and sometimes I, like it just depends on the day. But I was talking with my counselor, and her challenge for me this week was to spend at least 15 minutes of that time at the Y, like in the Word, to spend that in the Bible. And so I had like my time in the Bible, and that was really eye-opening. I'm going through Exodus right now. I have a little Bible for my son, and I want to give it to him like when he's 18, but for both of them, I want to go through a Bible all the way through and just kind of like make little notes about it, and when they graduate, give that to them. So I'm in Exodus, and it was like a challenging passage, but I just felt led to write in there. Any of the questions that you have about the Word, or any of the doubts that you might have, or just disbeliefs, bring them to God and be honest with Him about that, and He will lead you in truth through those. And so I don't think that had a lot to do, but I think it kind of set me up whenever I went into my workout. I was like doing stretches and different things like that, and then I was like, I just need to sit here and breathe. And breath prayer has been a huge thing for me since becoming a mom. And the idea of breath prayer is like, you don't have to physically do this if you don't want to, but I usually put my hand on my chest and on my belly, and I breathe in like one of those good belly breaths, and I'm like, thank you, God, for this. Thank you, God, for this. Thank you, God, for... And sometimes it's like, God, you're in control, and I release it all to you. Whatever prayer is on your heart, you can kind of do breath prayers in that way. And so today I was just thinking about the gift of my body. And more than that, I had done some workouts, so my heart was kind of racing a little bit, and I was like, God, thank you for my heart. My heart has literally brought me through my whole life. The Lord has sustained my heart to bring me through my whole life. Then I started thinking about it, and I was like, down to like my vascular system, down to my nervous system, down to my like the cells in my body, down to my mitochondria, down to like what makes up the mitochondria, down to like the bazillionth of microscopic things going on in my body, and the Lord has sustained that. And then I started thinking, okay, well, what if my heart wasn't good? Or what if my lungs weren't good? Or what if I wasn't able to walk? Or what if and then I was like, I still, believe that the Lord has gifted us with our body, with the intricacies that are going on. And even just like to be able to breathe in a breath and breathe out is the greatest gift from God. And even for those who are not able to, experience even just a pure breath, a clear breath, their heart is still pumping. Sometimes, people are able to move their fingers. I think of, is it Joni Erickson? Joni Tada Erickson? Is that her name? I might not be getting it right. But she is a paraplegic. She was paralyzed in a diving accident, like when she was young. And I think she has very little movement in her arms, and she can like barely move her neck. She is able to speak, but she speaks over and over and over again about the gift of like being able to speak, even down to that. And she's not able to wiggle her toes. She's not able to, I don't think at least that she's able to eat on her own, like all of these things that we just take for granted. And she's still able to find those pieces of gratitude within her for the things that God has given her in that moment. And I think especially as a mother, when I look at my sons, and since we're talking about health and body related things, I'm like, God, thank you so much that they are able to breathe on their own. Thank you so much that you have allowed them to hit these different milestones. Even if there are some delays in certain areas, it's like, God, you have given them the ability to do all of these things. And even just the ability to move their mouth to smile, or the ability to blink their eyes, or the ability to whatever it might be. And even, when I'm disciplining my sons, and specifically my oldest, he's 2.5, but there was one time when he was just yelling at me and screaming and just like kind of losing it. And that was going on for a really long time. And finally I just started praying with him, and I was like, God, thank you so much for giving my son this strong, strong will, because I know that you will refine it and that you will make it into something so beautiful to be used for your purposes. And that mindset, and I could cry. I am starting to cry thinking about this. Oh, and it's like making me have to sneeze. I don't know why that's a reaction that I'm having right now, but even just that mindset going throughout my life of, God, thank you for these wonderful and beautiful gifts. Life, and if my life, and especially in recent years, just the things that I have walked through and that we have walked through as a family, it has not been easy. And there have been a lot of challenges and a lot of griefs that we have had to bear from outside things and just from our own actions. And it's like, whenever I come back to the center of myself, and whenever I refocus on the Lord and refocus on what He has given to us, I'm truly able to say, I'm so grateful for this life. I'm so grateful for this family. I'm so grateful for even the amazingly significant but seemingly insignificant things, down to my heartbeat beating hard after a workout. I hope that encourages you, and that you are able to walk in even just a glimpse of gratitude today.